What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd, where we talk all things major movie television news. I am your host on the channel, Grant Sullivan, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking down Secret Invasion Episode 1. We are going to break down, is Maria Hill actually dead? Number 1, who do we think is a Skrull? Who knows? But first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and so you guys don't miss out on any of the latest videos. This video is getting done a little late because the first one that I tried to record, it did not work. So now we're going to be recording it again. Hopefully all goes smooth, and you guys should have this up by about 5 o'clock or so. So number 1, right off the bat, let me know down below in the comments down below, is Maria Hill actually dead? I don't think she's dead. I think Marvel can pull an Agent Coulson. Marvel did urge us to watch they urged us to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before we watch Secret Invasion, so maybe that could play a part in how they bring back Maria Hill in this show. Also, who do you guys think is a Skrull in this show? Is Rhodey a Skrull? Is Captain Marvel going to be a Skrull in and if she appears in this show? Who knows? Let us know in the comments down below who you guys think is a Skrull on this show. Now, the series opens in present-day Moscow, and the first scene is who we think to be General Ross talking to Agent Prescott, and he's telling him that he is on his way so they can discuss things. So, obviously, not a whole lot there. Let's continue. We then hear Prescott talk to Agent Ross about the Skrulls and their invasion of Earth, and he also is talking to the audience when he says this as well, where he says, imagine a world where anything is where people can manipulate people and shapeshift people, kind of like what we see in the real world sometimes. But this is where he brings up the events of Captain Marvel and why the Skrulls are here. The Skrulls are here because of the promise that Nick Fury made with Captain Marvel. He made them a promise that they would find the Skrulls a home, and now, since Fury hasn't done that, obviously he's been back for 5 years already, he hasn't done that yet, so therefore, the Skrulls are going to be taking over Earth and trying to just find a home to live. That's their main motive of this series as well. So, all this needless to say, we find out that General Ross is indeed a Skrull, and Agent Prescott tries to kill him, in which he dies, but then Ross also dies when he is shot by Talos, who we see talking to Maria Hill, and Maria Hill says to Talos, he was one of you, and then Talos says, no, he was one of them implying that he is working with Nick Fury and that they are against Nick Fury in this mission to find the Skrulls a new home. We also know that Ross was in Wakanda at this point, so that got me a little confused as to why we see Agent Ross in the opening scene of this show as well. After the opening credits, which, by the way, are actually created by AI, I didn't like this. I've seen a lot of backlash about that as well, that the Marvel title cards and stuff are by AI as well. So, after the opening credits, we see Fury come back to Earth from Saber in a spaceship. We know he was on Saber, number 1, because of the Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scene, but also in the Captain Marvel 2 trailer, we know he goes back to Saber after Secret Invasion, and Samuel L. Jackson did say that we have to watch Secret Invasion to know what is going on in Captain Marvel 2 as well. We then see Hill pick up Fury, and we see Nick Fury touch his knee, which obviously shows that he is limping. And we see Nick Fury touch the grass that is down on Earth as well, because he hasn't been on Earth in a hot minute. We don't know why he's limping, number 1, but we see him touch grass, and obviously it's because of the artificial gravity that they had on Saber, whereas Earth, it's not artificial gravity, it's official gravity, but that is essentially what is happening. He's getting used to the atmosphere of Earth again. So, we then see Nick Fury meet up with Talos, and we see that Talos has grown a skull plant that can survive on Earth as well. This is where we get their first official greeting as well where they touch heads and stuff like that to greet each other. Talos states that it is what his wife would have also wanted as well, a Skrull plant that can survive on Earth. Obviously, this proving that the Skrulls can indeed survive on Earth if they were to find a home in Earth and live in peace with the humans, which is what Talos and Nick Fury want for the Skrulls as well. Fury then says that he is so sorry about his wife dying, aka Talos' wife dying, and Talos then says something that touches Nick Fury a little bit. He says that it would take something like this for him to come back to Earth, this meaning Secret Invasion and being the crisis that is happening right now as well. We then hear Talos describing the events of what happened after the blimp, with Nick Fury leaving and Carol Danvers also leaving, who also was on that promise as well. Talos then tells us something very, very important, and that he was kicked off of the Skrull Council and has no power, no contact with the Skrulls anymore. He has been exiled. Now, in the comics, I believe the Skrull Council did something a little more dangerous, but in this show, they're the people who like organize everything what the Skrulls are doing. They're the ones who approve of the missions and stuff like that. And we know that Gravik has officially taken over on the Skrull Council as well. We then find out what the plan is that Prescott gave Ross in that opening scene. So, the plan is that there is a radicalist group out there known as the AARP, and the Skrulls are to shapeshift and disguise themselves as people from that AARP and attack Russia and make it seem like the United States attacked Russia and start a world war between the United States and Russia so they can go in and do whatever they want. Talos also tells Fury that if this happens, then the humankind will be destroyed, and Fury gets really mad about this and says he's going on a walk. This is when we cut to a clip of Rhodey, who is now working for the president, basically ratting out Nick Fury and Maria Hill, and tells the president that Fury went to Saber after Endgame. Both of them went AWOL, which means obviously they disappeared and they weren't supposed to. They left when they weren't supposed to. So this has prompted a lot of questions. Number one question being, though, let us know in the comments if you think that Rhodey could be a Skrull based on him just ratting out Nick Fury and Maria Hill like that. I don't think the real Rhodey would rat out one of his closest friends in the Avenger Initiative process that we've seen throughout all of this in Nick Fury and Maria Hill. He was really close with them, so I don't know. I think Rhodey's a Skrull, but let us know in the comments down below on that. We then see Fury go on a walk so he can quote-unquote get kidnapped by Sonya Falsworth. So, and a very important detail here is when he goes on that walk, he sees a couple making out. The girl, obviously, is the same girl who we see Gravik transform into at the end of the episode when he sets off that bomb before Nick Fury. Shows us that Gravik is following Nick Fury from the beginning as well. We also see a little girl playing with a ball, and we see that same ball towards the end of the episode too, again showing how Gravik is following Nick Fury. So, where does that lead us from here? Well, Nick Fury gets kidnapped and they say hello. Him and Sonya both exchange hellos, and Nick Fury puts a contact lens camera so he can spy on what her agents are saying about the Skrulls and what he is not telling her as well. What's interesting about this scene is that Sonya knows Fury is on Saber, and she says, "So is this why you came back from your little space station?" Because she knows that Gravik and Fury know each other, and she knows there's a history between them as well, which we find out in the second episode, so stay tuned for that as well. But Fury knows, or now Fury asks what she knows about the plan that Gravik is about to have for the bombs as well, and she says nothing, and then Fury says that he knows she is lying, and then Sonya drops a major truth bomb on Nick Fury, and she says that she thinks Thanos' snap changed him. This also tells us that this isn't the same Nick Fury from when we know, the one we know from the Avenger Initiative, the one we know from Infinity War, and we know the one we know from the entire Infinity Saga. this is a different Nick Fury from when he comes back to Earth as well. And this is what makes Sonya not want to work with Nick Fury on this as well. She even flat out tells him that she doesn't want to work with them. But interestingly enough, Nick Fury doing some smart work right here and says that the whole reason that Fury wanted to get captured, and listen to this right here, is because she not only, well, I mean, he did want to work with Sonya, but that wasn't the main reason. The main reason was to put that camera and a microphone in her room so he can find out what she isn't telling him about that stuff as well. Because Nick Fury, smart play by Nick Fury, by the way. Let's just give him that as well. He is a spy, so I mean, he can do pretty much whatever he wants, whenever he wants as well. We then cut to one of the operation plants that they were talking about earlier in the episode with him and with Prescott and Ross as well. And when he mentions about where the Skrulls have been hiding, and the guard, we see a man walk up to the entrance. And the guards ask him what he wants, and he replies, I want home in my own skin, which is a code used by the other Skrulls to prove that they are indeed Skrulls. But they still, number one, have to test this, and they ask him to transform and prove that he is a Skrull, in which he does, and welcomes him to the plant as well. We then meet Gaia, who is played by Emilia Clarke in this show. She is the daughter of Talos. We don't find that out until later in the episode, but this is indeed the daughter of Talos. And Gaia says, welcome to Skrull, which Skrull was a planet that they were from. That's where the Skrulls originate in the comics, and that's where they were originated in the MCU. But now they are on Earth, so they call it New Skrull as well. Gaia then asks when the last time the man ate was, and he says he does not know. And then Gaia opens up a glove box and gives them a plant from Skrull as well, their home world. And she says, whatever you did to get here, it was worth it. This proving that whatever sacrifices he made is worth it, because we will give you refuge and stuff like that as well. But this is just implying Gaia wants to help the Skrulls. She wants what's best for the Skrulls, just like her dad. But she has to work with Gravik here, because obviously she doesn't want to get killed as well. Gaia then explains the rules, who can and can't leave, pretty much. That's all she's explaining right there. We then see part of the Skrull plan come together when they kidnap people from the AARP and transfer their memories and take their physical form so they can put their plan into action with the AARP. They do this in an extremely interesting way, and with this is extremely dangerous as well with the device that they are using too. Remember, back in Captain Marvel, they could only remember a few years of memories. Now, they can remember their entire lifetime with this new technology, just showing you how the technology has improved and why the Skrulls are a huge threat. Anyone can be a Skrull. Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon, Bucky, anybody can be a Skrull. Captain Marvel could be a Skrull as well. We don't know, Rhodey as well could be a Skrull in this show. We'll talk about that at the end of the video as well. But anyone can be a Skrull for this show as well. We cut back to Nick Fury, and we see that they are spying. We see them spying on him, and they figured out where they are taking the bombs. And then Fury comes to the conclusion and says that they are going because if they don't, Sonya and her team are going to take out the good Skrulls and the bad Skrulls as well. All of them. This shows that Sonya is very, very just like Gravik. She will take out whatever. Talos and Fury know that there are good Skrulls out there, but in order to save them, they have to stop Sonya. So, in the next scene, we officially meet Gravik, who has been told that Fury is now back on Earth, but he is old and washed up. Gravik knows that he is old and washed up. Number one, he's been spying on him from the very beginning of this episode. And number two, he's going to continue to follow them as well and send other enemies their way just to stop the one person as well. They're not going to stop because of one person either. They just are going to continue on with their plan as well. We then cut to a scene where the guy working with Gravik tells Gaia that she needs to go take this money and go get the bombs and get the bait as well. We learn this at the end of the episode as well. So, right now we have 3 parties trying to stop Gravik, or trying to kill other Skrulls. We have Fury and Talos and Maria Hill, who are just trying to stop all of this operation. We have the Skrulls themselves with Gravik and their group, and then we have Sonya and MI6. So what did they do? MI6 is there first, so Talos indeed takes him out, but he doesn't kill them. He just takes them out of the game and puts them to sleep and stuff like that. Now it is just Fury, Talos, and Hill against Gaia and the Skrulls as well. Talos rips a chain off of a barricaded door and shows us that the Skrulls are much stronger than humans, and we then get a really funny joke. I really like this joke, by the way. Fury tells Talos, not bad for a 116-year-old, when he's stronger than the humans as well. We know this. Talos then replies, in my human years, I haven't even hit 40 yet, and I haven't hit my midlife crisis. Then Talos asks Nick Fury what he got for his midlife crisis, and Fury says, the Avengers. This is just a little nod, and I like this very much, to who started the MCU actually, and we can thank Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson for starting the MCU and knowing that we all love as well. But Talos, obviously, we just talked about that, and then he can't, and then Talos asks Nick Fury why he cannot just call the Avengers _1, and Fury replies with that he can't trust any of them because he doesn't know if they're Skrull or not. That's a very good question as well. Who is and isn't a Skrull? We will see about this. We then see Fury and Talos in another scene talking to the person who made the bomb. This is later revealed to be a Skrull. When asked about the bombs, the Skrull says that he cannot meet right now, is that he has a meeting with his wife, and Fury tells Talos, interestingly, doesn't call Talos by his real name, calls him by Kramer, I believe, or something like that, with a K, and then Talos looks it up, and it says that he has no wife, and says that they are divorced, and she lives in Miami with a soccer player. Hint, wink, wink, Messi, maybe. Just a little bit nod to their sports people would get the joke. But therefore proving he is indeed a Skrull. Fury then says everyone gets 1 lie, nobody gets 2 lies. And then we see that the Skrull recognizes Talos in his human form, which is actually very crazy to think about. And then Talos gets into a big fight with this man. Talos tells Nick Fury that he doesn't want him to intervene with him. It's his fight, but Fury eventually shoots him, and this makes Talos very upset because he doesn't want to kill any of the Skrulls. He just wants to help them, and we know this as well. We then cut to Maria Hill following Gaia, and they get into a pretty big fight, but Gaia eventually wins because obviously the Skrulls are much stronger than the humans are as well. Talos then takes over for Gaia, and he learns his lesson that it's his daughter, or he learns that it's his daughter Gaia, who ran away from him and his mother as well, or him and her mother as well. Talos tells Gaia that the last thing her mother told him was to find you, basically telling her that her mother is dead. And Talos says that the people responsible for the death of her mother is indeed Gravik. And then Talos tries to convince Gaia to join there, but Gaia says no, pushes them away, and basically leaves, and Talos is accepting that he doesn't want anything else to happen to her as well. We then see her mourn the loss of her mother as we cut to the scene with Nick Fury at a bar, and we see a white man. Now, interestingly enough, I'll point this out too, this white man is also someone who Gravik turns into at the end of this episode. We'll talk about that later. But he says you'll never be the man that you once were. Obviously, this implying the backstory between Gravik and Fury. This scene is important as well for that, and we will see a lot of that in episode 2 is what I've been hearing too. This obviously making it seem like Gravik is talking to Nick Fury in this bar as well. Again, with all the history stuff and that between Gravik and Fury as well. But then we cut to Gaia delivering the bombs to Gravik and his man, and she says that there was a man waiting for her, but they ask if it was anyone they can identify, and she says no, but this is a lie because she knows it is her father, and she suggests postponing the mission, and they say no, that they have the bait and have everything we need. for their mission as well. We then see Gaia and her father connect somehow. We don't know how they connected, but we see Gaia and her father connect and link up, and Gaia says the attack is tomorrow and says that Gravik knows that you'll be there. Talos asks how, but she says she doesn't know. We know how because Gravik has been following Nick Fury all episode between that man, that woman, and the little girl as well. Gaia then helps Talos and Fury and tells them the plan that they get glasses to where they can detect the bombs, and while they're following the bags, the bombs, when they get there, they're following the bags, and then the bombs, they lose the bombs, and they have to go after the people who did it. Fury runs into the girl with the ball and ends up following the girl because he realizes what is going on as well. Gravik transforms into all the people Nick Fury has seen over the last episode, and then finally turns into Gravik and sets off the bomb and kills a lot of people. Towards the end of this episode, Gravik, this is the last cliffhanger this is a major cliffhanger of the episode right here. Gravik disguises himself as Nick Fury and goes up to Maria Hill and shoots her, and this shows us that Gravik does not care, and he leaves, and Nick Fury and Talos end up leaving, but not before seeing Maria Hill dead, and before mourning the loss of Maria Hill. But that is going to be all for the breakdown of this episode. Again, let me know in the comments who you guys think is a Skrull. If you think Rhodey could be a Skrull as well. What you think this sets up for Captain Marvel 2 as well. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let us know some Easter eggs that we missed in the comments down below as well. That is going to be all for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.